Rob Walters, your Oxford guide, continues the story of the beginning of the university, covering the 12th century and on.
1201 is an important year in the evolution of Oxford University because it was then that the schools became joined under the Latin title Magister Scholarum Oxoniae. John Grimm became the head of the schools, having authority over both masters and scholars and the power to grant licenses to teach. In the year 1209, a student killed a woman in an Oxford tavern. Why is this such an important event in the university's evolution? Simply because the mayor and the town officers called at his lodgings to arrest him, but he had flown the nest. They took away 3 other students who lived there, tried them for abetting the murder, and had them all hung. Masters and scholars were clerks in holy orders and therefore normally under the protection of the church. However, these were troubled times between King John and the Pope, and the town's flaunting of clerical immunity resulted in an academic withdrawal from Oxford. Most of the masters and students, said to be 3,000 but probably more likely 1,000, left for, amongst other places, Cambridge, thus sowing the seed corn for Oxford's great rival. In 1214, the Pope's legate, the Bishop of Tusculum, who was in England at that time on other business, was asked to resolve the impasse, and he ruled against the town. Rents for the academics were reduced and fixed for 20 years. The town had to pay the sum of 50 shillings a year in perpetuity to the university for the benefit of poor scholars, and to provide a dinner for 100 of them every year. Food and other necessities of life were to be supplied at reasonable prices. And there was more. Undoubtedly, this was a victory for gown over town. This legatine ordinance is claimed to provide indisputable evidence of the existence of the University of Oxford in 1214, and therefore is its first charter. Furthermore, these events led to the establishment of the title of Chancellor for the head of the university. So for my money, 1214 is the date. There is a lot of confusion over who was the first Chancellor, but the most famous is undoubtedly Robert Grosseteste. He was appointed by the Bishop of Lincoln, in whose diocese Oxford lay, and was Chancellor for many years before himself becoming the bishop, and was buried in Lincoln in 1253. He was well versed in many subjects, including science. Why? This is the man who explained the phenomena of the rainbow in considerable mathematical detail. There can be little doubt that the location of monasteries in and around Oxford had a major influence on the rise of the university. They housed some students and academics and were a prime source of legal wrangles for the courts. The Augustinian Priory of St. Frieswide was the first in 1120. It was located where the College of Christ Church and the cathedral now stands. It was also the first to house one of the many university chests in which the university stored its wealth. What became Osney Abbey was founded as an Augustinian priory in 1129. It was located to the south of the Thames. It absorbed St. George's Church and College, and for a short while became Oxford's first cathedral. The Franciscan Greyfriars came to Oxford in 1225 and eventually established a large monastery attached to the southern wall of the town, as shown on this old map. The most famous of the friars is Roger Bacon, whose advances in science verge on the miraculous, and he was a close friend of Grosseteste. There were many other monasteries and some nunneries. In 1231, King Henry III effectively recognised the university as a corporation by granting privileges to it through the Chancellor. It is claimed that the rioting between town and gown increased from this time, accelerating the establishment of the halls of residence and culminating in the bloody St. Scholastica's Day riot of 1355. In 1248, the university was granted a royal charter by King Henry III. Note that the awarding of charters usually followed the establishment of a university rather than its time of founding. Kings did not found universities. In 1249, the first college opened, University College, followed quickly by Balliol and Merton. These were endowed houses under the supervision of a master and with a clear set of statutes defining an independent academic community. They were self-governing, with their finances under the control of the head of house and the fellows. As the colleges grew in importance, so the halls declined, and this led to the University of Oxford and its 39 colleges as we now know it. For many years, the university was based in St. Mary's Church. By 1320, the university had extended it to provide a meeting room, now a cafe, and established its first library above. In the 15th century, the church itself was largely rebuilt, and today you can see within it the Chancellor's throne, from which degrees were awarded, and the Adam de Brome Chapel, which was the Chancellor's court. The move to its own buildings began with the opening of the Divinity School in 1483. So then, what's the foundation year of Oxford University? 1214 or thereabouts. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.